Hi everybody, I am here at the library. I was able to park right outside the library today because it's Friday and I'm off, and that just means there isn't very much traffic, library traffic, on a Friday at this time. So I knew there were a lot of holds, so I didn't look around the library. I forced myself to just go in and pick up the holds. And this really, the books that I have here, I haven't looked to see what they are, but I kind of know what they are based on the website of my account. And this constitutes a lot of what I would love to be reading this summer. Our library, this main branch and the branches in the rest of the city don't have any fines, so they will give you a due date, like 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, but they automatically renew when you not when you return them. They automatically renew until you return them. I generally don't keep books very long. Of course, I'm returning the ones that I've decided I'm not going to read because I'm here weekly anyway, but I might keep some of these longer because I will be reading some of them for summer. But I don't keep books out longer than I have to because so many other people are waiting. So let's see what's in this bag of mine. Yeah, this first one was one that I knew was coming. It's a really odd sized book. I know you can't see how odd sized it is here, but it's a little wider than normal, and this is by New York Review of Books, so it's a different size book for them. And this is a nonfiction. I heard about this from who? A booktuber. It had to be Jalen from Reading the Room, and somebody else. Peter Brooks, Seduced by Story, The Use and Abuse of Narrative. And this looks at how storytelling and narrative influences an audience, whether it's in a story or just in news pieces, or I suppose in speeches, things like that. So I don't know if it's going to be readable enough for me, if I'm going to be in the mood for it, but I thought I would try it out. Oh yeah, so this is a Rachel Cusk fiction. I've only read Rachel Cusk's, what are they called, like auto fiction? I don't know if they're actual memoirs, but Transit and whatever the other two are in that series that I can't think of. But this was her fiction that I heard about last summer on the Book Club Review podcast, and I always meant to pick it up. A woman invites a famous artist to use her guest house in the remote coastal landscape where she lives with her family. Powerfully drawn to his paintings, she believes his vision might penetrate the mystery at the center of her life. So really a real sense of place. It sounded very summery to me, and I think that's probably why I thought of it again. So we'll see. I have loved Rachel Cusk's auto fiction series. And then I got The Guest by Emma Cline. Everybody, not everyone, lots of people are talking about this book. I haven't read her other one called The Girls, but so this will be my first Emma Cline. Alex drained her wine glass, then her water glass. The ocean looked calm, a black darker than the sky. A ripple of anxiety made her palms go damp. It seemed suddenly very tenuous to believe that anything would stay hidden, that she could successfully pass from one world to another. This is somebody, a young woman who is at a party with a boyfriend or something like that on the east end of Long Island, and for some reason she's no longer welcome wherever she's staying. And she tries to fake her way into another house on Long Island or a group of people. And then maybe they just fold her into their lives. I don't know. We'll see. I have no idea how I'm going to connect with that one. Close to Home by Michael McGee. Look at that cover. Oh, it's so cool. I don't remember anything about this. Oh, well, oh, this is Irish. by an Irish author. While growing up in West Belfast, Sean does everything he's supposed to. He works hard, he studies, and he mostly stays out of trouble. The 30-year conflict is over, he's told, and his future is lit with promise. But when he returns home from university, he finds much of the same, and so on. Now I remember, I probably read about this in the New York Times or the New Yorker, and I really connected with it because I've just read Trespasses, and it takes place in the 70s during the Troubles. So I was very eager to try this one, and this is set in a time that's post that conflict, apparently, so we'll see. And Michael McGee, he's the fiction editor of Tangerine, and this is his first novel, so debut novel. Then I picked up Brandon Taylor's Real Life. I am very eager to get to The Late Americans, which is coming. It's in transit to me. I don't know when that could mean. I don't know why it could mean a couple weeks, but apparently it does, from the library system. But I picked this up right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood. I couldn't connect with it. And I'm such a fan of Brandon Taylor and his Instagram account, which is where he posts a whole bunch of things, videos and things that he's doing. I love his articles in the New Yorker and other places. So I want to read this again so that I'm all caught up when The Late Americans comes. And then, is that the last one? Yeah, okay, this is one that I just saw in the New York Times or the New Yorker. Liliana's Invisible Summer, A Sister's Search for Justice by Cristina Rivera Garza. This is a nonfiction, like a memoir. October 18th, 2019, Cristina Rivera Garza travels from her home in Texas to Mexico City in search of an old, unresolved criminal file. I am writing to you as a relative of Liliana Rivera Garza, who was murdered on July 16th, 1990. It's been 29 years since Liliana was murdered by an abusive ex-boyfriend, and Cristina knows there's a slim chance of recovering the files. Is this her sister? What is the relation between the writer and Liliana? I'm sorry, I don't remember, but this is a true crime story written by Cristina in her search to solve this crime. So it looked really good. I'll dive in and let you know if I end up connecting with it, but it looked really good. So the other books that I have planned that feel like summer books to me that aren't here yet. So just speaking of my summer reading in general, as I mentioned, Brandon Taylor's Late Americans. Let's see, I have written down other things that are coming. And then Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. I don't know, I'm gonna get it out. It's coming to me pretty soon, and we'll see how that is. These are things that I might take on vacation in a couple weeks. Women We Buried, Women We Burned by Rachel Louise Snyder. She wrote a nonfiction book, and this is her story of growing up in a religious community and then trying to leave, and her life after leaving the community, I think, and also her childhood growing up in the community. So that looked really, really good, probably really intense. And then Quietly Hostile by Samantha Irby. This would be my first Samantha Irby. So if any of you have read Samantha Irby, let me know if you have a favorite in the 2 or 3 that she's written. I think it's 3 of these, like, essays, comedic essays, or humorous, I should say. What else? Oh, I know. I'm thinking, I don't know, but maybe this is the summer of Wuthering Heights. I've never read a Bronte. I have read a little bit of, like, it's not really an introduction to the story, but it's just an introduction to to the Bronte sisters and to this book in general. Is it Emily Bronte that's written Wuthering Heights? And I started reading like the first page, and it looked good. So I'm not going to promise anything, and it won't be in June, but I might. I have it in the back of my head for a summer read, so we'll see. Anyway, thanks for joining me. And of course, I want to know what your summer reads are. And if you've started any of these, some of them are pretty brand new. So you may just be reading them now. I'd love to hear if you are. So have a wonderful holiday. I don't know when I'm actually posting this, so it could be, yeah, it's going to be after Memorial Day. So I hope you had a wonderful holiday by the time you're watching this, and I hope you have a wonderful summer. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.